Of course, we've all seen high voltage lines, towering structures with heavy power cables strung between them. And of course, that carries electricity across the state.
But who owns them and how are they maintained might surprise you. Fox 17's Rob Westaby has a look.
We have all experienced power outages, and they can range in scope from a few dozen houses to thousands. Well, the owners of these high voltage lines face the possibility of 10,000 people losing power if just one line goes down. It's ITC transmissions, and to keep their system humming, they have to think different. We flew in this helicopter with ITC Chief Operating Officer Jon Jipping. As we talk in flight, you might hear some extraneous noise as the airport tower communicated with other flights.
Rapids Tower, Coast 4510. On a visual for runway 26 left.
We fly our lines, all of the lines in Michigan, and our other operating companies outside of Michigan. We fly them twice a year. You know, really the purpose is to do two things. We put our expert field inspectors in the helicopter to look at the towers, and then we have also foresters who look for any kind of issues with vegetation. These are our largest lines, as I mentioned, and are most critical because they carry a lot of power. You'll see how things are pretty much just down to the grass, right under the lines, and that's purposeful. We don't want anything that could potentially interfere with the lines. You know, ITC has worked very closely with landowners to try to strike that balance where, we may remove a tree that's close to the power lines, but then we'll plant something somewhere else. So what we're flying over right here is called Gaines Station. It's a medium-sized station. It has our highest voltage, 345,000 volts, and it steps down to a lower voltage, which then is really kind of serves this whole Grand Rapids metropolitan area. You see the big transformers there, and pretty typical for what we have here in Michigan, both on the east side and the west side.
Now we're flying low enough that I'm looking like practically eye level with the top of the towers.
Yeah.
What are those engineers looking for when it comes to looking at the lines and the towers?
They're really looking for anything that could potentially cause a problem. If it gets hot, the wind blows, that kind of thing. So they're looking for any of these insulators that might be cracked, frayed wire, some of those structural steel members, if any of those things are loose. Annually, we actually have guys climb these towers for a more closer inspection, and that's done we do about 10% of the system every year.
Right turn, 350.
Are there any new lines being added in Michigan like these?
There are. Like the ones we just flew, we have a very large project in the thumb of Michigan. It's called the Wind Zone Project, and that's about half done, and we're already connecting wind farms to it, and we'll finish that in 2015. And that'll really be the first major new transmission line in Michigan in many, many years.
Now ITC owns 8,800 miles of high voltage transmission lines in the lower peninsula of Michigan alone. So when you see a helicopter flying amazingly close to these towers, they're not hot-dogging it. They're on an inspection tour, making sure that the traffic on their freeway gets to its destination. I'm Rob Westaby, Fox 17 News.
The newly